Okay, welcome back to Banished. A few things have gone on in your absence. You may notice that we have been going through and clearing up some new areas. Time has progressed just slightly. It is now early spring of the second year. And yeah, I had a little bit of a crash. I strongly suspect it had nothing to do with Banished, but with the fact that my computer hadn't restarted in, well, longer than I can remember. That is probably more an indication of my terrible memory than it being an especially long time, but nevertheless, yeah. Thankfully, though, Banished does keep regular autosaves, so I quickly repositioned everything according to the video, which was quite useful in figuring out where I placed everything, so I believe we are more or less back to where we were before. We've got several children, in fact, in one house. That's going to be very nice once they all grow up and join the workforce. But yeah, a few people are in different houses because the autosave was just before the houses were actually built. So people moved in different orders. We also have our gatherer's hut finished, which is already starting to bring in some food. A remarkable amount of food, I might add. We are always teetering on the edge of starvation, though, and that is something that we really need to look into. Currently, we don't really have that many people to help us with this, but I'm going to increase our builders back up to 1. And I think we're going to look at getting a hunter's cabin out here. We're not going to do the forester just yet, though that is something I'm going to be working on fairly soon. And we want the hunter's cabin up about there, I would say. Let's see. Actually, no. Let's put you on this side. Around there. The hunter's cabin has a fairly large radius. It's a little bit larger than the gatherer's hut, I think. So we'll place the hunter's cabin by there, and we'll have a forester in there. Ah, damn it. We are starting to run out of tools. That is not good. Not good at all. Let's increase the speed just a little bit. And they're finishing off that road. Fantastic. Right, hopefully we will have enough people to move some of these logs and chop these trees down. We are requiring that at the moment because we don't have a forester, so there's no automatic collection of wood, or for that matter, stone or iron. The forester will clear the area where it plants its trees in order to plant more trees. Once these things have been cleared, though, that's it. You're not going to get any more stone or iron from that forester. You can eventually build quarries and also mines, but they're not renewable resources. Once you've mined the area out, that's it. So you do have to plan accordingly. Now, I'm tempted, very tempted, in fact, to build a boarding house. How big are these things? My lord, they're huge! But if we were to build one around there, it might actually be worth it for us, since it would allow... Well, actually, we could perhaps build it there, and they would be able to access the market. Now, I have not built a boarding house myself yet in any of the games that I've tested, so I'm not really sure exactly how they work, but I imagine it would plug the gap between children coming of age and needing their own place to live. They'd move out of their parents' house and thus stop being in their parents' way. But we would need to get them their own house. The benefit being that if a lot of people can live in a boarding house at one time, that's only one building that needs to gather firewood and food. That may actually be really useful. It might even be a strategy to start with that. I may end up exploring that should I need to build a new town, which I really hope I don't. Everything is going slowly, though. So, oh, actually, did someone just come of age? Let me have a quick look at that. Let me open this up again. Yes! Esmira has become an adult and is working as a labourer. Well done! Will you please stop working as a labourer and work as a gatherer? We're going to be siphoning off our labourers into the gathering and fishing and hunting until they're all full, I imagine. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording here, and I shall bring you back when there is some progress, because it's going to probably take a little while for us to get everything finished. So hopefully, see you before winter of year 2. And welcome back. As you can see, we have the hunting cabin going up. I've also placed a small stockpile here just to allow our foresters and get anyone who ends up having to do work out here, but mostly it'll be the foresters, just to drop off their materials in this stockpile rather than having to walk all the way down here, because this is actually proving to be quite the problem. This trip over the mountains here is taking them a very long time because I cannot build a road. Building a tunnel through this mountain is going to be a very, very high priority. I've also started work on a blacksmith, since we are starting to see people running out of tools here and there. We have deconstructed the cart. That did contain a couple of tools which have been moved over here, but we've already gone through those. So getting this up and running as soon as possible is going to be very, very good for us in the long run. We have quite a lot of children who have become adults, so our workforce is currently 13 with 5 children around that. I would really like to be able to build some houses right now, but I need to get this going rather quickly, so we'll speed up time just a little bit. We're not actually far off, and we've got 3 builders, so this shouldn't take too long. It's just that they take so long getting over here, they only have a little bit of time to do some work before having to return. I'm wondering if maybe building a boarding house over here would be useful. No, it would take up too much room, but perhaps a house or two? I'm not sure. Whether they intelligently assign their houses. So, for example, because they work up here, they would choose the houses over here. I don't think it quite works that way. But it looks like, haha, we've got our hunting cabin. Fantastic. Now, we're going to drop you down, and we're going to increase you by 2. Right, that's good because they're almost at the maximum there, which is exactly what we need. Now, that should free up some more of the people to do some work around here. Food-wise, we're teetering around the 100, 200 point, depending on the season. Things seem to be doing okay for the moment, but it certainly could be better. We are running out of logs. We've got plenty of iron, though, or we did. Yeah, we still do, more or less. But we could do with that being a little bit better. But there is plenty of game up here. And once we get a forester, I imagine we're going to get plenty of stone and iron coming through as the foresters start to clear these areas. But that will be something we'll do soon, but not right away. Ooh, what's that? Is that meat on the floor? Yes, it looks like there is meat on the floor. Well, why? Will you please put that somewhere where it's not going to spoil? Do you not realize how important it is at the moment? We're on the verge of starvation every season. My God. This symbol here means that they have reached their production limit. So there's over 200 firewood, so they're no longer going to be using up any of the wooden logs, which is exactly what we want, because we want the logs to be brought down here so our blacksmith can get a little bit closer to completion. Let's go ahead and speed things up just to 10. I don't usually like having that, but at the moment we are still in the waiting stage. The early bit of setting up a camp tends to play out in more or less the same way every time. You get your initial food up, you get some basic housing, and then you go for a blacksmith and a tailor. The tailor will produce clothes, which means they'll have to use less... they'll have to go return to their houses less often during winter. They return to the house when they're cold in order to warm up, but if they've got warm clothes, then they don't need to do that quite as frequently. And as we can see, we've got 2 people who haven't got tools. So this is really quite important to get going as soon as possible. Now, hopefully, this will bring in plenty of wood, and we might even be able to finish this off, maybe, possibly, maybe not. Come on, we just need 9. Ah, really? 3 shy. Never mind, never mind. We'll get that going. And then, once this is built, I think I'm going to go for the boarding house. But let me just double check where the market is going to fit in. Okay, it's just 1 off. Damn it. I was just a little bit away from having that perfect. Man. Well, what I could do then... No, we'll stick with this. So let's get another road just marked out so I know where I've got to build it. That will irritate me a little bit. It'll irritate me a lot, actually. But these things, it's a little bit hard to plan early on. So I'm not going to beat myself up too much over it. Maybe just a little. Maybe I'll whip myself in the garden with a branch from my plum tree. Just a little bit. Just to teach myself the value of symmetry. Must never be forgotten. Okay. Well... It looks like we're waiting on this once again, though at least they can... Oh, no, damn it, we need more stone, do we? Well, well, well. Okay, let's get some more stone collected. fact, grab all of that if you will. We are definitely going to need it. And whilst you're there, we may as well grab the trees too. Just these little trees were there. Well, I think it is possibly time to look at building the boarding house, since we don't need the trees for that, though this will take stone. I will limit it from being constructed. Well, we'll reduce its priority, or rather simply pause its construction. There we go. Now that way, as soon as these guys have actually got all of the materials there they need another... Oh, actually, not much at all. They only need 7 more stone. And as soon as we got that 7 stone, I'll unpause this, and my labourers can start ferrying materials over to the boarding house. And that will be... Well, if it works the way I hope it will work, it'll be a pretty big improvement for us. But I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. Hopefully when you return, the blacksmith will be complete and we will be starting work on the boarding house. So see you soon. Oh, look at that. We're almost at 1,000 food. That snuck up there all of a sudden. Well done, guys. Well, hello. Welcome back. I caved. Yes, I know. I said we were going to work on the boarding house, but looking at the comparative cost, even though the boarding house, I believe, will be better in the long term, we really did need to start moving some of the children out of their parents' homes. I noticed that many of the parents weren't getting any younger, I mean, obviously, but they were starting to get old, which is what I'm worried about. And many of the children were of an age where they could move out and make families of their own. So I decided we best get 2 more houses going. And we've already got Dashad and Jelena have moved out, and they're going to have their own family. One is a woodcutter, one is a hunter. Ah, damn it, you should be living over here. Oh well. I am also considering building a barn, rather. A storage barn. Just so that my gatherer and my hunter don't carry their finished goods all the way down to this one. Once we've got the market, it will be the job of the people working in the market to go and collect goods and bring it back, rather than the actual people working at these places taking the goods all the way over this mountain to deliver it. I feel that that is decreasing their efficiency quite significantly, because then, you know, not only do they have to come back here to go to home and eat food and get warm, but the way our food problems have really diminished. But yeah, it's a little bit of a pain. But we do have a blacksmith who is working on tools. It's just that everyone's tools were running out at the same time, so we do still have quite a lot of people who don't have tools at the moment, and that is a bit of a pain, but we'll get past it, I'm sure. Now, let's have a quick look. How's this going? Not too bad, but we really would love someone to actually deliver some stuff. Has someone become an adult? Yes, I believe they have. Fantastic. Let's go back up to 10 times speed and see how things are going. Autumn of year 4 at the moment. Things do progress in this game quite fast, especially if you go on the high speed, but ironically, this is one of the games where I actually, when I'm just playing it myself, I just like to let it go slowly. It's a relaxing game that I can just have running in the background and just watch as my town slowly develops and people start families and have children. And usually I like to try and pay a little bit more attention to who's starting a relationship with who. It is actually kind of hard at the moment, but there is the promise of modability in the future, quite extensive modability. And one of the mods that I am really hoping for is a mod which allows you to pay a little bit more attention to the lives of your citizens, that brings their aging process a little bit more in line with the actual year and seasons. That would probably make this game far too long if it actually matched it, but at the moment it feels like you don't get enough time to really become invested in the lives of your citizens. And as you've probably noticed from my Dwarf Fortress and Memoria Let's Plays, I actually like doing that. Now, we've got a few logs up here. These would also be collected by the marketplace as well. But as soon as we've got these houses done, which it looks like that is actually working on, so we're going to unpause this. We need a remarkable amount of wood and stone still. Let's see if we can fix some of that. First and foremost, get rid of those trees, don't want them there, and all of those bushes and plants, and then dig into the stone reserves on this side. Let's dig right in. We are not going to go any further than this, though. Well, we'll come down there. I don't mind going on this side of the mountain. I want this to be an old-growth forest. I will be putting a forester there, only for as long as it takes them to clear this area of all stone and iron and replant the area with trees. Then the forest is going to be leaving. There will be a herbalist here throughout that time. This is basically going to be a forest we're not going to touch. I may keep the forester there, perhaps, just set to plant trees rather than to cut them down, just to make sure that this herbalist gets the best herbs, because they only grow around the bases of very old trees. So you want an old-growth forest for your herbalist to actually do any work at all. Now, we are actually doing really, really well with food. Let's have a look. Who moved in here? Stair and Adelaide. Oh, that's a lovely name, Adelaide. Now then, let's have a look. Well, actually not doing too bad. We're almost halfway through the logs, and we're very close to having finished the stone. I wasn't expecting us to make that much progress, honestly. That is really good news. As soon as this place is more or less filled up, or at least as soon as the stone is done, because I imagine wood will just trickle in here now and then anyway. It's already going to be competing with the woodcutter, who will probably be making use of most of the wood that's coming in until we're back up to 200 firewood. And that is probably going to be around early summer, I imagine, with the hot season, where people don't really need as much firewood anymore. But this is actually coming along. We are now exactly halfway with the logs. But once again, I'm going to be pausing the recording, and I shall return you when we are almost complete with this, at least that the builders have started work on it. And at that point, I'm going to look at building a forester up here. So see you in a few minutes, I hope. And welcome back. We have a few new children. We have Eva, which really does sound more like a woman's name, really, but that is definitely the symbol of Mars. Thus, it is a man. And we have Stair, another man-child. Oh, rather, an actual child, and not a man-child. That means something different, doesn't it? Now, we've still got a few children in these older houses, which I'm quite pleased with, honestly. I wasn't expecting that, but this one here, the population in this particular house is really starting to age. We need this boarding house done quickly, but it is almost done, which means we are going to look at building a forester over here. So let's have a gander at that. Forester symbol is here, the Forester's Lodge, and we are going to want to build this... we'll have this facing... Oh, wait. Damn it. Everything is the wrong place. Is that actually built too close? Let me just double check this. Where can I build a road out here? Can I build it between these buildings? Yes, I can. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I misplaced this, it looks like. Oh, that's a bit of an annoyance. Oh, well. Doesn't matter too much. You can lay roads next to each other and it'll just start to create a sort of square, so we'll pretend that I did that on purpose. Right, now we want a forester's hut about here. Will that actually cover the right sort of area? Or would it be better? Yeah, that'll do, I think. So if we put the forester's hut there we go. Once we've got that, they will start clearing all of these rocks and stone, the rocks, the iron, and start planting trees, and also cutting down old trees. They'll wait for the trees to fully mature first, and we are so close to having enough to begin construction on this. My lord, you are teasing me now, game. Right, once that is on the go, well, I'll wait for the forester to finish building, I think, but then we are really going to have to look at getting the market, because otherwise we're not really making use of this design here at that point. How's it going up there? They've not really started. Oh, they are actually doing the roads. That's not too bad then. It'll help these guys move around a little bit, but until I've actually got the storage barn, it's not going to be that particularly useful for them. I'll probably place the storage barn but there, perhaps, or maybe facing the road on this side. Ultimately, I want a tunnel moving through there and then cutting across like that. So actually, I'll put the storage barn over there just to be sure that I don't make the road have to be an odd shape as a result. Really? Come on now. We're so close. Will you please just chop down some bloody trees? It can't be that far away. Come on. Is this going to be... Oh, no. They've stolen it. Damn you, woodcutter. I know we need that wood, but... Bugger it. It's going to be ages. No, I may have brought you back a little bit prematurely, I think, but I'm fairly sure all of those are already selected. I don't think selecting any more is going to help us at this stage, but perhaps if I have my builder go back to being a labourer, maybe? No, I don't think so. They're not actually working on this, so they're not doing anything else at the moment. They are actually being labored. Oh, fantastic. Here we are. Let's see. In fact, I'm going to move some of my laborers to being builders, because this one building by itself can take 3 people, maybe even 4 people, because I'm fairly sure the Forester's Lodge can only have 2 builders working on it at a time. Oh, dear. Someone was very cold there. Have we got enough firewood yet? Yeah, we have. Okay, well, that's not too bad then. I clearly need to get them some more clothes, though. A tailor will be after the market then. We'll place the tailor around there. Now that we've actually got the hunting lodge, we will be stockpiling some leather. We've currently got 74, so there's really no reason not to make a tailor. The tailor can make 2 types of coats. They can either make, well, actually they can make 3 types. They can make coats made of leather, coats made entirely of wool, or coats made of leather and wool. Naturally, the ones made of leather and wool are superior. I don't believe there's much of a difference between ones made of all leather or ones made of all wool, but I could be wrong on that. If anyone happens to know, by all means, drop a comment into the video and I shall correct myself if I'm wrong. Now, how's this going over there? Have I left too much room? Please tell me I haven't. Not again. Really? Oh, I have to. I just don't know what's wrong with me today. Right, we're going to fix this one, though. Like that. Right, let's get this one sorted, shall we? There we go, that's what we want. My goodness. I'm usually so precise with this sort of thing. Ha! Fantastic! Oh, really? There's no one's living in there? No one's going to move out? Really? I've wasted all this time? Why would you do this to me, game? Is this perhaps for people who... Well, that's annoying. I assumed that would allow people to move out, but perhaps it's only for people who have been made homeless, perhaps as a result of a fire, maybe the result of us upgrading a house to a stone house, which is a little bit warmer. It retains heat a little bit longer. I guess we'll just build 3 new houses then. Damn it, my plan has been foiled. However, I have noticed that there is something somewhere for nomads. I'm not sure where that is, but there is a menu somewhere. I believe it may actually be on the town hall, where you can accept nomads into the town. Now, I'm not sure if that would work much like migrants do in Dwarf Fortress. Although I've seen the option to accept them, there have never been any nomads to accept, in my experience. So I'm not really 100% on that. I may have a look at the in-game help, which is significantly awesome. It's extremely in-depth. It covers pretty much everything. Not many games do this these days. They always have... I'm not sure if this is actually linking to a wiki outside of the game, or whether this is just in-game, but not enough games actually have that information that easily available within the game, and I do want to congratulate the developer for making a wise choice there. Now, these shouldn't take us too long to get going. We do have a fair amount of resources to chop down, but we are splitting our workforce a little bit. I am a little bit concerned about that, because we really do need to start getting people out of these homes, having more children, because you do run the risk of having an aging population, and once all of your citizens are too old, well, that's it. You've lost the game. You're just waiting for them to eventually die and stop doing work at that point. It's rather a sad way to have your otherwise successful town end, just by overlooking giving enough room for people to grow. Once you get to a certain size, however, I've tended to find around about 100 population. I haven't really gone much beyond that in my testing. But at 100 population, you tend to have this wide range of ages across your population. So as the very oldest people are dying, they're freeing up houses for the children of the very youngest couples to move out and start new families of their own. It becomes self-sustaining at that point. And it's very fortunate that that is the case. Okay, we've got most of the stone done. We do need a little bit more wood here, though. But I think I'm going to wrap this episode up there. We have actually done quite a lot. I'm going to look into the boarding house, find out a little bit more about it and how exactly it works. And when we return, I shall tell you what I have found. But until then, let's have a last glance over it. We've actually made a decent amount of progress. We've got a hunting cabin, a gatherer's hut, We are slowly building up this little outpost area in the woods there. And soon, very soon, we'll have 3 more houses and a marketplace. That will be the mission for the next episode. But for now, I do hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you will be joining us for the next. But until then, and as always, autosave there. Thank you, autosave. I really do appreciate you, actually, since I've already had to use you once. But yes, until next we meet, do take care.